The Hawaiian language is the heartbeat of the Hawaiian people.
It guides us to understand and unfold what the culture means and how we practice it.
Oli, or chants, mele, songs, mo'olelo, stories, they really are the keepers of all of this knowledge, and it's really your skill in language that will uncover all of these gifts.
Hawaiian was once the only language spoken in Hawaii. It was passed down orally from one generation to the next in the form of stories and chants.
I believe that there's mana, there's spiritual power in each of the words, and when you add those words together to make a sentence or form a story, they hold even greater power. They hold the history, they hold the clue and all the solutions to our present day problems.
The written form of the Hawaiian language can be traced back to the year 1826.
When literacy was introduced to Hawaii, literally within less than, I would say, even within 50 years, almost the entire Hawaiian population was literate. That tells you that my Hawaiian ancestors understood the tool that literacy had in preserving our history and our culture.
But both Oli'e and Malia grew up speaking English. Their first opportunity to learn their mother tongue came in college.
I think it's common knowledge that language is the carrier of culture, right? So once you disconnect the people from their language, that is probably the key tool to colonization.
With the overthrow of the Hawaiian kingdom by US forces at the end of the 19th century came the mandated use of English.
People within a span of a century get disconnected and displaced from their land and their language, to the point where eventually Hawaiian language is outlawed in our education system.
By the 1950s, the language was all but extinct. Less than 1% of the state could fluently speak Hawaiian.
I didn't even realize that we did have our own language. And then when I realized that we did, I said, oh, we should be hearing Hawaiian everywhere. It should be on all the signs. It should be within every place here in Hawaii. My grandmother was pure Hawaiian. She was beaten for speaking Hawaiian, even though that's the only language that she knew. And that is very, very common for a lot of our kupuna of that generation, being beaten for speaking Hawaiian. And when I was old enough and to hear this story, it was just so wrong that someone of Hawaiian descent here in Hawaii not be allowed to speak Hawaiian.
In 2008, Alohilani founded Kauai, one of the many Hawaiian language immersion schools rooted in the Hawaiian Renaissance, a movement to revitalize Hawaiian language and culture that started in the 1960s.
We really do encourage that Hawaiian is not and shouldn't be just a school language. It shouldn't be a classroom language. It should be a life language. It should be a language at home with the family. It should be a language at the beach and the banks, and it should be a normal part of our lives.
Peleke and Leinani Flores have been speaking Hawaiian to their children since they were born, and they send them to the Kauai school. They believe that a Hawaiian language education will help them embrace their culture and respect the land.
They can understand the history and how the language is intertwined with everything, with the culture and the land, and how we cannot be separated from that pretty much.
It is so important to keep the language alive so that our traditions and our practices are preserved
but also to reconnect these young people with places that they may have been disconnected from, because to lose a name or to lose a story is to lose the history. And to lose the history would mean we lose our identities.